they're actually going to break down these rocks to the 12 o'clock. So Minigun's actually going to have a hard time defending this part of the base.
Minigun has to know
such perfect timing from Sheth.
Minigun has to know that some kind of Hydras are coming. He can't expect Sheth to continue to mass Mutalisks against these Phoenix, so I'm really surprised not to see a Robo Bay or something going down, unless he's planning on using Phoenix to lift literally every single Hydralisk. I don't see how he's planning on surviving any kind of Hydra push.
And here we go. The Lings and Roaches going into that back expansion at the 12 o'clock. Just Phoenix is now picking up a bunch of Lings. Not really an effective use of the Graviton Beam, but here we go. Void Rays and Zealots now reinforcing. And yeah, lifting up every single one of these Roaches pretty much.
Minigun APM is so sick. I mean, look at his unit control. He lifted up all the Roaches like you said, and 2 Hydras wasn't off cost. I mean, 2 Hydras was of course not enough to defend against this massive air army, and he really needs more Hydra at this point of time and stop making Mutalisks and make more Corruptors.
That was really nice control by Minigun. I mean, that was really nice control by Minigun. I didn't think he'd be able to save it against that many units there. I mean, like you said, lifting Lings is generally a bad idea, but I mean, if he hadn't, he would have lost the expansion. So I mean, nice control by Minigun.
Yeah, I'm impressed. He actually went up to like 300 APM during that fight. And he's usually known for not having a lot of APM. We do see him throwing down that robotics bay now, so we'll be able to get those Colossi out, although I would have liked to see them a little bit sooner. Still mining off of that 2 base saturation. He is at 61 Harvesters compared to the 73 of Sheth. And Phoenix is doing a little bit of poking around, but does see a lot of Hydras and Roaches here. So Sheth actually probably going to push here on that 3rd base. And there are no Colossi out just yet to deal with this.
Yeah, that robotics bay is just now finishing, so it's going to be a while before we have any Colossi. Minigun's in a lot of trouble. All he can do is force field this ramp as long as possible.
Yeah, he's
I love the positioning of the expansion for Sheth.
Oh, there's like 22 Hydras there.
He does have his observer right above that position, so that's actually really nice that he can continually force field it as long as Sheth is there. He is starting that Thermal Lance and getting those Colossi out, but he's really going to need to delay until he can get 3 or 4 or 5 of those, just because there are so many units here from Sheth. And ooh, a little bit of a mistake by Minigun losing a couple of those Phoenixes to those Hydralisks there.
Oh, and Sheth going to go for a double attack, 1 on the front, 1 on that expansion, it looks like. And that's going to be a great idea because we don't have any of Minigun's forces actually to defend that expansion. Only bringing the Phoenixes though, and that might be enough considering the Ling's not even attacking right now. He was trying to snipe down those cannons.
Still has that back base perpetually force fielded.
Yep, needs to be careful though. Oh, loses that sentry. He does have 1 more there, but he needs to be careful and get it out so that it is in range.
He really needs to chrono his thermal lances out so he can get Colo up ASAP to counter the Hydra.
To be fair, he's only got about 5 chronos right now, so he might be saving them.
Nix is still trying to defend that front, although Minigun's slacking a little bit on his control here. Not attacking all his Phoenixes there.
I'm sorry, that was...
He's got a Colossus actually behind the mineral line right now. There he goes, finally grabbing it. He could have got quite a bit of damage if he actually tried with that. Maybe a little risky versus those Hydras. It looks like the entire attack force is going to go to the front, as all the cannons are down for right now. Minigun currently trying to build a lot more.
Oh, needs to get that Colossus out of that Robo. Very nice force fields there as well.
The Hydras are going to come in and clean the Phoenixes up.
He's going to snipe the Robo, I think. And it does go down, and he actually did not cancel that Colossi, and now there's a hole through the main. The Hydra's doing a lot of DPS on this gateways in the front. There's 1 Colossi
He's going to go for a base trade.
Oh my goodness. Does have Thermal Lance, which is the only thing keeping him alive here because of those force fields as well.
Now here comes Minigun on the 4th for Sheth.
Oh, very nice.
This is quickly going to go down.
A lot of Void Rays there, 6 Void Rays and a ton of Zealots.
8 Ultralisk on the way.
Oh, and Sheth's army just got cleaned up at that expansion.
I don't know how I feel about Ultralisks at this point. Although he was making Corruptors earlier, I'm not sure. I see him there. With fungal growth, I mean, that could work out really nice, but it's kind of risky too. I mean, these Void Rays really will hammer through these Colossus if they don't get taken out by these Corruptor. Or will really take out these Ultralisks if the Corruptors can't take them down.
Oh my god, it was... I mean, do you see that? He actually did a really good fungal growth onto the Void Rays.
Yep. Needs to be careful with those, not splitting them enough, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, these Ultralisks, they're very good units, but against a lot of Zealots, they're not actually that effective. Against the Colossi, we see it go down almost immediately. But these Zealots and Void Rays actually kind of counter the Immortal, or sorry, the Ultralisk.
Yep, Void Rays do have that extra bonus damage, 20% versus massive units. And he needs more Hydras. Right now he has supply block, but just built a crap ton of Overlords, so he is pretty much back up to 200 there. But a little short on money. He does have that base still mining it down at the bottom right, and even stole the natural third for Minigun. I'm surprised he's actually so aggressive with these expansions. It's really nice that he does have control of the entire bottom of the map, but actually getting drones over there is another story. He's not using 2 of those quite yet.
Sheth needs to be really careful with these ultras. Losing all of these ultras with his economy in such a fragile state. I mean, he's only at 164 army, and he doesn't have the money to remax or anything. So if he loses these, it puts him in a really tight spot.
Yeah, he's got a lot of bases, but only 72 harvesters compared to the 81 of Minigun. So Minigun's actually hitting his stride, taking that top left-hand base as a 4th now. So he's going to have to be really careful here. There's a delicate balance of how much he has to push versus how much he actually needs to drone up in this position, just because of the strength of Minigun's army. Even though it's pretty small, it's pretty good right now. So,
well, that's Protoss for you. Protoss, I mean, a lot of Warcraft 3 players also play Protoss because, I mean, for Protoss, it's like you don't need a lot of units because one unit by itself is so strong. So.
Yeah,
kind of like the opposite of Zerg.
Especially these Robo units and these Stargate units. I mean, used correctly. I mean, people always talk about the Protoss Death Ball. If you let Protoss get to certain 200 army comps, it can seem almost unbeatable, regardless of what your Zerg economy is looking like. I'm sorry, I have to say this. He's killing me. I think we have 11 Chronos available here, and plenty of units warping in, plus upgrades.
Definitely
true.
true.
Use 1.
Also, at least 4 idle harvesters. But looks like he's actually doing a decent job. I see a lot of stuff running right now. Finally working on that +2 weapons upgrade. Normally a lot of Protoss is going to get that like 15 minutes ago. But that's Minigun.
Oh, and the Ultras trying to attack that expansion, but the cannons just start ripping them apart. He's taking a lot of damage to these Ultras.
Well, Hydras are really good against cannons.
Yep, and here he goes actually. Gonna let the Ultras do their massive against armored damage. Actually gonna bust in here.
Here he comes.
Losing
But
a bunch though. I think that's 3 or 4 Ultras already lost.
I don't think that's really worth it. But he's gonna be able to take down this expansion. The thing is, Minigun isn't actually mining out of it, so the actual damage he'll be doing to this is that he took down the gateways and the robo base, so there won't be any Colossus coming out. He really needs more ground army though, like tier 2 armies like Roaches and Hydras.
Yeah, there's a bit of indecision on Minigun's part here. I mean, he's got that army on the left. It looked like he was about to push with it, but then he changed his mind, and now he's not pushing with it. So, I mean, he's just letting his main base die, and that army's just kind of sitting there. I also question, I don't know why he's making Immortals. I think the Void Rays counter the Ultralisks well enough. It seems like what he needs is more anti-Hydra firepower, and I don't really think Immortals provide that. I don't understand. The Immortals counter Roaches very well, and they counter Ultras very well, but I mean, that's kind of what you have the Void Rays for. There's a little bit of redundancy in the army here, and not enough coverage from Hydralisks or Zergling.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking that he'd be better off with some kind of tech switch. I mean, Zealots are pretty good against both the Ultralisks and the Hydras, and they're not going to be as susceptible to that fungal growth. But I think actually Storm, and we do see a Templar Archive going down. Storm, I think, would be the best position, just because he can feed back those infestors to keep his air army alive, and do really nice storms on those Hydralisks. So.
Oh, an amazing fungal growth goes down on all of those Void Rays, but I mean, those Void Rays by themselves are just tearing everything up. He's going to lose a lot of Overlords too if he's not careful controlling them. He just pretty much lost his entire army. I mean, the supply right now 179 to 155. Sheth pumping out a couple.
Oh god, he's supply block.
Yep.
Oh, and Minigun I think has an opportunity here. to really push. But another nice fungal growth going down, doing a lot of damage.